Uh-oh. There you go. There you go. You are not happy right now. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. You can put your arm back. My bad. Okay, 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 okay. What's the matter? Oh, Gabrielle. It's okay. You have some trapped gas in there? Huh? It's okay. Oh. Let mommy sit up a little bit. Okay. Hi guys. Look, I'm back with my new little bundle of joy. This will be my labor and delivery story, which is going to be really short because my labor was extremely short. So on August 1st, I went to my midwife at 9:30 in the morning, and she actually had gone the day before. So I went July 31st, and I was just feeling like I may have been a little bit dehydrated. And I had some issues with dehydration earlier on in pregnancy, and so I decided to go ahead and go get my levels checked. So they checked me. I was in fact a little bit dehydrated, and she was like, oh, you know, you don't have I think it's called ketones in your urine, so you know, basically just flood yourself with water, drink a little bit of vitamin water, and you should be fine, and then come back tomorrow and we'll check your levels again. And I was like, okay. So excuse me, since I was there, I went ahead and had her check me for dilation. I was 70% and 3 centimeters. Well, the week before, I was 2 centimeters. So I had made some progress just over the weekend. And so this whole time, I had been feeling like menstrual cramps, but nothing severe at all. Nothing that would have triggered me to say, you know, I'm in labor or anything like that. So I went back August 1st, and my levels were checked. I was hydrated much better. And so she's like, well, let's just check you again. You keep saying that you have these menstrual cramps, you know, all night, but nothing severe. Let's just see if your body did anything last night. And I was like, okay, fine. So she went ahead and checked me, and she's like, you're 4 centimeters. And I'm like, no way. Are you sure? And she's like, Ebony, I'm sure. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. So I left there, and I decided to kind of walk a little bit. So I just was walking around like the parking lot. I was actually waiting for my niece she dropped me off. And so I'm just kind of walking around lollygagging, and I started getting the feeling of the menstrual cramps again, but they were just a little bit stronger, which typically after you get checked, you can get kind of like crampy. And so I thought, oh, you know, no big deal, whatever. So I went to the chiropractor. That was at 10:50, and they had become just a little bit stronger. And my chiropractor was like, you know, are you okay? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, okay, let's get you adjusted. You know, this will make labor easier. And, you know, let me know if I'm hurting you. And I was like, no, you'll be fine. So I did my adjustment, and he just kept looking at me, and he's like, are you sure you're fine? Like, do I need to call someone? And I was like, no, I'm fine. My niece is with me. Like, I'm good. So we went grocery shopping. We went and got something to eat. Just kind of doing like last minute errands because I'm like, okay, she's coming. She's going to come today or tomorrow. Like, I just know it. So let me go ahead and kind of prepare myself. And I decided I wanted to spend a little bit of time individually with each of the kids before Gabrielle came. So I played cards with Elijah. We played Scrabble. I played Scrabble with Elijah. And then after I played Scrabble with him, I took a nap. And my dad was here, so he had the girls. He had actually taken them out so that I could just have some one-on-one time with Elijah. So when he came back, I woke up, and they were building a step stool. So I went out in the garage and helped Naomi paint the step stool and just kind of hung out with her for a little bit. And then I went on a walk with Micah. And so I'm walking with Micah, and we walked like 4 houses down, not very far. And the contractions I felt like they were becoming more consistent. Like, these were contractions now, but they weren't to the point where I couldn't like talk through them. I was still very like regular, like vocal, you know, having normal conversations and moving around like normal. And so I started walking with her, and my husband called, and he's like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm out for a walk. And he's like, with who? I'm like, with Micah. And he was like, what adult? And I was like, nobody, it's just Micah and I. You know, we're just down the street. And he was like, you need to go back home. You know, don't go walking by yourself. What if something happens? And I'm like, I'm fine, Mike. Like, I'll be good. And so after that, I hung up the phone and I was like, maybe I should listen to him. And so Micah starts like picking flowers and picking up rocks and like taking forever to walk back home. So I just pick her up and we walk back home. So when I get back home, my niece is just waking up from a nap, and she's an adult. She's what, 22? I'm like, hey, let's go for a walk. We have been walking 2 miles a day. And she's like, all right. So we get Mike in the stroller and we go for a walk, and we get about a little bit more than halfway into the walk, and you have to like turn and go down this other street. And I got to the corner and I was having contractions, but I wasn't timing them. I was so busy doing everything else. I had not been timing my contractions at all. But I knew that they were somewhere between 3 and 5 minutes apart. Well, while we were walking, they kind of picked up, and I was like, we probably shouldn't finish this walk. Let's just go ahead and go back to the house. I'll shower, stretch a little bit, and, you know, maybe go to the hospital then. Now, this whole time, my husband is calling me, and he's like, are you okay? You know, what's going on? And I was like, I'm fine. He's like, well, I wanted to run to Best Buy and get like a new tripod. Are you good with that? And I'm like, yeah, you know, whatever. So we get back to my house, and it's like, I don't know, maybe 5 o'clock, a little bit after 5. And I take a shower. So we walked a mile. I took a shower, and I'm like in the bathroom lotioning up, and the contractions are on top of each other. And I was like, okay, yep, we should go to the hospital. So the plan was to not go to the hospital until 6. But I was like, man, my gut is telling me we should go. And so he comes in and he's like, let's go. And I'm like, no, you wanted to shower, you know, go ahead and shower first. That's fine. I can manage. I'll be fine. And so while he's showering, which was like the quickest shower ever, because he was so like just concerned, and he kept saying, Eb, we can't have the baby at home. We can't have the baby at home. And I'm like, we're not going to have a baby at home. Like, Mike, we'll be fine. And so by this time it's about 5:20, 5:25, about 5:25. And I was like, let's just go ahead and go to the hospital. We'll ease your peace, you know, give you some peace of mind. We'll get there. I'm probably going to be like 6 centimeters, maybe. You know, we'll just set up the camera and walk, and we'll be fine. So we go on the driveway, and we're like taking pictures and just hanging out. So then the kids, you know, get everything in the car for us, and we get to the hospital. We get admitted at 5:33 exactly. This is PM. And again, the contractions are on top of each other, and I'm kind of like, you know, they ask you the questions, your date of birth, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, don't ask me anything. So Mike is answering all the questions, and they're like, you know, we need to get you hooked up to the monitor, because it seems like you're in active labor, and we have to monitor you and the baby for 20 minutes before you have the baby. And I was like, no, I don't want to sit down somewhere unless I can walk around with this monitor on. I'm not interested. And so the nurse was like, okay, let me go get the midwife. So she goes and gets the midwife, and she comes back with like 8 other nurses. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Why are there so many people in this room? So I ended up getting really nauseous. And I remember saying, I have to pee. You know, Mike, help me get my underwear off. And he was like, all right. And so I go sit on the toilet, and I don't pee. And I was like, that's weird. Like, I can't pee. And I start throwing up instead. And I was like, shoot, that's a sign that, you know, she's coming, or the baby's coming. And so they're like, you know, can you get on the bed in between contractions and let us check you? Again, these are on top of each other, okay? Like, there is no break. And so I'm like, screw it. So I get on the bed, and I was like, you have like 30 seconds to check me, so you got to be quick. And she's like, this is not even my normal midwife. Like, I wanted one of 2 midwives, ended up with a midwife that I had never even had an appointment with. So I was pretty ticked off about that. But I mean, what could I do? Like, keep the baby in until my midwife was on call in a couple hours? No. So she checked me. She's like, crap, you're 8 centimeters. So she calls, and like this flood of people come in, and I'm like, yo, I'm not staying on the bed. No, like, we have to monitor the baby. I was like, the baby is fine. I'm not staying on the bed. So I start walking again, and I'm just kind of moving around the room. And she's like, do you want me to break your water? And I said, no. So all of this, she checked me about 5:45 or so. And by 6 o'clock, I thought, let me just let her break my water. It'll relieve some pressure and I'll be able to labor a little bit better. So she gets ready to break my water and she's like, you're at like 9.5. And I was like, okay. And so she breaks my water and, you know, I'm just laying there letting the water run out. And then I kind of don't get the urge to push, but my body is not telling me to push, but my mind is saying, go ahead and push. And so I wait a couple minutes and I'm like, let's just go ahead and start pushing. So I start pushing at, she broke my water at 6. I start pushing by about 5 or 6:10. And I'm just, you know, on my back. They're holding my legs up and I'm pushing and pushing. And I could tell by everyone's body language that my pushes weren't doing anything. And so they would be like, oh, that was a good push. And I'm like, well, what were all the other ones? Like, bad ones? I don't understand. But it wasn't doing anything. And so I pushed and pushed for about 10 minutes and I was like, I'm so over this. And the midwife said, you know, if you want to change positions and get on all fours, you can. Maybe that'll help. And I was just like, okay. So in my head, I'm thinking, listen to your body. If it's not time to push, just chill. Just like lay here for a minute. But I was so anxious to get her out that I just was like, I want this baby out now. So then it's about 6:10 or so. And I'm like, all right, let's go on all fours. So they help me turn over. And I'm literally like one leg, my left leg is up in the air. And I get the urge to push. And I was like, oh my God, like I have to push. And she's like, no, it's fine. Push like this. So I push and they're like, yes, okay, now she's coming down. Now she's coming down. You know, she's starting to crown. And so the whole time Mike is like wide-eyed, like, oh my God, this is crazy. So the way I've had my other kids, they either come really, really quick or like Naomi came in the water. So I haven't really had to push. Elijah, I didn't really have to push. He kind of just came out. So this is the first time where I've actually had to push for a significant amount of time. Even with Micah, I just pushed 3 times and she was out. And so this whole pushing for more than 5 minutes was new to me. So anyways, I'm pushing and pushing, and then I feel her head pop out. And Mike had decided when we got there that he wanted to deliver her. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. So I feel her head pop out, but it's like her body is, you know, still in there. And I'm like, so I reached down thinking, I'm going to just pull her out myself because y'all taking too long. And so the midwife grabs my hand and is like, no. And I'm like, get her out. And so they, you know, pull her out and she's born at 6'16", 6 pounds, 2 ounces, 19.25 inches long. And that was like the quickest labor ever. And had I continued that walk for 2 miles, I may have had my baby at the park down the street, which is mind-blowing to me. I don't know what I would have done. So that is basically my labor and delivery story. It was very, very good experience. I do have some footage, so I will be posting the videos. It's a lot of footage. I mean, basically 40 minutes worth of footage. So I kind of have to sort through it and get everything organized. But once I do that video should be up within the next 2 weeks. Gabrielle is currently 1 week and 1 day old. And yeah, that was labor and delivery. So I will give you guys, if she'll cooperate. Here is Gabrielle. Say hi, Gabrielle. So she's finally here. She was 9 days early, which is still full term. And I'm so happy that she's here and that I can cuddle with her, which is what I do all day, cuddle with her. Right, Gabrielle? Mommy's cuddle bug. So yeah, that's it for my labor and delivery story. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, whatever, you know what to do. Leave them in the comment box below. And until the next video, bye guys.